It's Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. Aljo kind enough to join us in the midst of a crazy media day in New York City. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go over to Aljamain. Oh, there he is. I thought you'd be traveling around New York or something. You're back at the hotel.
Yeah, we made it back literally just in time.
Aljo, you could have stopped by here. I had a seat ready for you. I mean, you were in my seat. We were right here.
I gotta work out.
I know you got to work out. I know.
I gotta make weight,
But you got to.
It's the
You come on after the win in studio, long overdue. You came on once when you announced. You remember when you announced that you were resigning? You came into the old studio with all the hats and everything like that.
yeah. I came on with that, and I came on with I think Volante and Iquinta.
Yeah, back in the day. Back in the day. I don't know if it was in this studio though. Anyway, it's great to have you on, and I appreciate it very much. Let's talk about the new stuff that happened because you posted it on your YouTube channel overnight. You ran into old Henry at the hotel. Interesting interaction there. Could you tell us what you took away from it?
Uh just one of my spies in his camp. They told me that he was in the lobby to get there quickly, so we got there in time. And fortunately, we were able to make the approach and say what's up. No, I'm joking about the spy though. But
okay, I was like, what? I was gonna be like, was this Tank and Garcia all over again?
mhm. No. But we saw him in the lobby, and I was just like, just gonna go say what's up. I mean, any takeaways? I think it's more so him being unsure of himself, because of the things he said, letting me know he had a great camp. I'm like, those are like certain things that don't need to be said. You know what I mean? Like if we're gonna fight, the fight's a couple of days away. You don't need to tell me your opponent, yeah, I had a great camp, man. Things went so well. I'm looking forward. Like, you don't need to do that. I'm just like, dude, I respect that you took the fight. I wasn't sure if you were serious, but now we're here, and I look forward to the matchup because I know you're not going to back down. I'm not going to back down, and that's what this fight means to me, which makes it so important and what makes it special because you got two guys who are some of the best minds in MMA in terms of breaking down fights, going at it, and we're going to see whose YouTube channel is the best.
I noticed that comment. Like I wasn't sure if you were going to show up. You really thought there was like, was there a part of you that really thought that this was all BS, that he wasn't going to take this fight?
Yeah, I even told the matchmakers and Hunter and Dana, like, is this for real? You guys told me O'Malley, now all of a sudden we're talking about Henry. I'm like, Henry's been retired for 3 years, almost 3 years. That was way back in either October or November or December. Everything kind of happened so fast. Probably November when I got back from Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I didn't think it was a real thing. But again, like, he's a tough competitor. You know, his resume speaks for itself. At the end of the day, it was more so the guy sits on the sideline and makes YouTube videos. Former great champion, yeah, but at the same time, is he serious because he's not in the testing pool? How am I supposed to take that for real? But now that he's in the testing pool and we're here a couple of days away, it's an exciting fight. You know, I'm glad the fans are getting behind it because again, if you look at accolades, look at what we both accomplished in both of our divisions, it's a very intriguing fight on paper.
Do you think he's underestimating you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why do you think so?
Um, it's either he's underestimating me or he's playing mind games with the whole wrestling thing and being that my wrestling can't hold a torch to him or a candle to his torch, whatever the nonsense he's saying. It's silly because it's not a wrestling match. We're talking about MMA. Am I the best wrestler in D3? No. Am I the best wrestler when it comes to Olympic wrestling? No. Am I one of the better wrestlers when it comes to grappling and MMA? Yes. My positional awareness. You can say whatever you want about how many times I have to shoot. I think that speaks on more of my tenacity and how often I'm going to keep bringing that pressure. And I think that's something he's more so worried about, trying to maybe use reverse psychology to get me to maybe doubt myself and my wrestling conditioning to go that pace with him. But I want to take him there because I think that's what he's most afraid of, because eventually he knows if he can't land a good kill shot on one of those entries, that's a long night for him, especially when I do get him down. I think we've seen that time and time again, not just with TJ, because they're going to say, oh, TJ had one arm. I'm like, dude, I torn labrum multiple fights. It's like, stop making excuses for the guy. Cody Stamen, Even the Brian Caraway fight, the fight that I lost, Takeda is a guy. Any of those fights where I get takedowns, it's a bad night for guys. So I think he's smart enough to understand the danger in that situation, and I like to see what his approach is going to be because I haven't seen much of him for 3 years, just like most of us, and I know he's going to make sure that he comes well prepared, and that's what gets me excited about this matchup.
It still feels to me, and if you feel otherwise, then I'd love to hear. It still feels like you don't get the respect that most champions in the UFC get. Is this the fight? Is this the victory that gets you that respect?
Uh I mean, to the guys that have brains, yes. To the other ones who just say anything, they find an excuse to doubt me or to discredit everything I do. Is like you beat who they put in front of you. I can't control how my opponents show up. I can't control their training camps. We sign a contract, we show up, we compete, and we find out who's better. And I've done that time and time again. So if you think my 5.5 year run of winning is all fluke, then I don't know what to tell you. You probably don't understand the sport of MMA very, very well. So whether or not I win this fight by decision, TKO, whatever it is, it's going to be something to those weirdos who want to say, he took 3 years off and he came back. He's not the same. Wait till Aljamain gets a real challenge. Like, there's no winning. So at the end of the day, control what I could control, just like anything in life. And that's who they put in front of me and what I do on the night of May 6th.
I saw the pictures of you recently. Like, you look absolutely shredded. I mean, you look, I don't know if this is the best ever, but you look phenomenal. And
Are you talking about these?
yes, those. Jeez Louise. We're showing video of you that you posted recently. Is this the most shredded that you've ever been?
You know, man, I say that every single time, but to be honest, I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I'm getting older, I'm getting more dense. Like the weight cut is definitely getting harder. I think I did a good job of dialing it in on this one as well, but it's never easy. And I think just being super lean as I am, it looks like that all the time. So I think everyone says that every time they see me the next time. But
Okay.
I look at the pictures and I'm like, I feel like it looks the same. But maybe it's just me because I live with this body, every
Okay.
single training camp.
How tough is this weight cut? Like on this Monday afternoon, how much more do you have left?
Man, one of the things I always dread talking about with people is my weight
Okay.
because they ask me my weight. I'm going to explain this to people because they don't really understand. I know it's fascinating because they're like, how do you go from 165 to 170 down to 135? Well, so when people ask me, it's always like, I tell them and then they just go, wow, oh man. And then that's the end of the conversation. It's
Yeah.
just like, that doesn't help me. If anything, it makes me more annoyed because I got to think about it. You just made me think about it.
Okay.
Not
I'm
you,
sorry.
but
I'm
I'm just
sorry.
saying
I'm
in
sorry.
general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's about 15 pounds, roughly 15 pounds this Monday. Water loading, which is good. I'm in a good spot. So hopefully shed off 5 tonight, which will be sweat, put some food back in me, some liquids back in me. I don't want to dehydrate too early because then it's diminishing returns. And I know there's going to be some weirdos out there that say, go up a weight class. I'm like, guys, if I make the weight, I make the weight. There's always something to complain about. It's like, do I complain at your job that you are on Instagram on your cell phone talking shit to a professional athlete doing his job? Like, you know what I mean? It's weird, man. We live in a weird society,
Yes, it
but
is
I get it.
bizarre. It is bizarre. And by the way, is that normal? Like 15? Is that common before the fight, or is that a little more than usual?
My last camp, I have it tracked on my phone. That was 151 and a half.
Oh, okay.
Um, and after having my fluids this morning so far and doing the media run, I just checked before doing this, and I was 151.8. So I'm in a really good spot, just based on all the fluid intake that I've had to start the day. So I'm excited. I mean, the weight cut's never easy. It's never fun, but it is an experience, and it is a type of suffering that I think if people had to go through it, they would make them a lot more appreciative of life, their health, and just like the small things in life. People, I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstood. People think, I don't know what they think of me. Some people like me, some people don't. They think I'm like, oh, I'm coming around to him now. I'm like, well, what are you coming around from? The fact that I got kneed in the head and you think that I was faking is still like I hope this is the last time I ever have to talk about this. like I watched the video of how they say, "Oh, you were rolling around and acting." I'm like, dude, I didn't know there was a rule book on how you're supposed to act when you get crushed to the skull with a knee that you don't see whatsoever. And even watching, I go, yeah, I can see why people are saying like you're acting, but I'm telling you, dude, there was no acting involved in that. Like I look at it and I go, that looks kind of weird. I could see why people will say like, yeah, he's acting, he played it up, but trust me, I wish I could see how I look because I would have told myself, yo, look cool, look tough. You don't want to look like you're being soft on not international TV, but unfortunately, when you get hit and you're exhausted, I guess that's what it looks like.
But you still,
So
I mean, like I feel like we corrected that issue in the rematch, and then I feel and you fought. You still feel like you get heat for that?
yeah, people still say I won the belt. I guess they're judging my career. I'm like, I guess we could nitpick at every single thing because I can nitpick at everything Cejudo's done on his title run, and so it's it's just one of those unforgiving things about this sport. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, and I respect everyone's opinion. It doesn't mean that you're correct.
Right.
Um, but the ones that do understand like what it's like or have an idea of they actually train and know what that feels like to get crushed like that, while being blindsided on top of it. But yeah, I still get a lot of people in the comments. I don't read them as much as I did before. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm doing more content that's kind of hard to sift through everything, even though I still like, even just now, occasionally I get to check and just see what people are saying. Cause it's good to just know what's up, you know? So
Right.
you kind of know where you stand with things. It gives you a better idea of, I guess, your career or what angle or what approach to take. But I think for the most part, when people actually get to talk to me, they like everybody else, dude. I'm a regular chill dude. I think. I don't know.
I actually find you to be a little bit different today in a very good. I don't know if it's the weight cut, but you just seem very I don't know, very cerebral right now. Very calm, very good place, very good mood. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but I was just mentally thinking that like I was like, this is a great version of you, whatever version this is, and maybe the dehydration affects the what you talk a little slow. I don't know what it is, but this is a great version. Whatever it is, it's good. I like it.
I'm saying you might have those old visions of me rolling around the octagon.
Nah.
And that's probably why you think
No,
that.
no, I wasn't even thinking of the on. I didn't even ask you about it. You brought it up. I didn't even bring it up.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think I'm doing anything different. Like, if you actually, without any bias, go back and watch any of our interviews and interactions or anything else, I don't think I'm saying anything that's like unreasonable for anyone to get upset about. Or I speak my mind. I believe in what I believe in. And it's like you either like it or you don't. You know, not you. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
general.
yeah.
Well, I don't speaking anything different than what I normally do. I'm still gonna give you the same funk, baby.
I get it. I get it. By the way, I was very excited about this. All your friends, all your teammates, they've all had the opportunity to fight in New York, whether it was, MSG, whether it was Brooklyn, whether it was Long Island, and you were never you never got that opportunity. And now here you are, as close as can be to New York. I know it's not Long Island, I know it's not MSG, but it's pretty damn close. It's pretty freaking close. It's the Prudential Center. It's Newark. And by the way, it's a state that embraced and adopted MMA long before everyone else did. I mean, like they were on the bandwagon pretty much since day one when everyone was jumping off and all the Johnny come late. So I think this is really great for you. Does this feel like a home game for you? Like you didn't have to get on a plane, you have to go overseas. This is the next best thing, right?
Oh, 100%. I fought in New York as an amateur. I want to say two, maybe three times. I think at least twice on the. I want to make sure I'm being PC over here. The Native American reservations.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. So I fought there twice for sure. And it was the same commission, Kim, the head of commission for New York State. And I spoke to her. I've emailed her. I emailed the medical part of the board that's supposed to get together a committee and overturn whatever small details in the writing so that I can fight and compete. I told him, like, before I'm retired, I would love to make the walk in New York, preferably Long Island, but I'll take Madison Square Garden too. But preferably Long Island. It's just something that's like that would be super memorable to have, and something I can say that I've done. There's something about that, you know. That's where I was pretty much born and raised. I got a lot of my my swag from Long Island, with a little Jamaican twist on it. So to have it all said and done, and to actually be able to make a walk where I'm from, it'll go a long way for me, man. That would be something I think I would cherish for the rest of my life, and something I can watch back, like just from the entrance, the fight week, and the vlogs that we do leading up to the fights. You can't put a price tag on that. And I think sometimes people forget that even though we do this is like, it's still an experience for us as the athletes. One day the music is going to stop. We're going to be looking around like, what next? And thankfully I'm doing other things outside of that, but I know I'm going to miss this when it's done. Like I might be talking and people are going to be like, oh, you sound like he's retiring. I'm like, no, I'm not retiring. I'm 33 and I'm a realist.
Yeah.
I understand my path, and I understand Father Time is undefeated, and eventually you get to that point where these young cats, man, you've seen like Song Yadong, like, come on, man, like those guys are dangerous guys and they're young. How much longer can I continue to do that? I mean, I'm not Yoel Romero. That guy's a freak.
Right.
I might look like that, but my body can't do that. Not in my weight class. That's almost impossible when you compare it to the young killers coming up. So long-winded answer, but when it's all said and done, I do hope that New York State Athletic Commission gets it together and allows me to compete here.
Can you explain to people why you can't compete there?
So when I made my UFC debut, February 22nd, 2014, I'm a vet, man.
Wow.
UFC 170, the Ronda Rousey versus Sarah McMahon card, I believe.
Yep.
It was. I had to get a CAT scan. First time ever getting a CAT scan. And they found 2 spots on my brain. It was like a millimeter or something like that. But it looked like there was like trauma and they weren't sure what it was. Forget the exact term, aneurysm or angioma, something like that. So in order for me to be cleared, I would have to like go take it out of my head. So I wasn't sure if I need to get like drilled in my head to pull these things out or whatever. So they monitored it. They allowed me to fight in Nevada. And it just had me monitor it every 6 months, every month. I'm not every 6 months, every year. And then for a couple of years after they realized like the change nothing was happening with that. They was like, okay, you're safe. You're not bleeding out. You're not going to die in the cage. Knock on wood. So things were good, and I was allowed to compete in Nevada and all the other states except for New York.
Oh man, and New Jersey's okay with it clearly because you're fighting there. You think you'll have a lot of people in attend? Like, are a lot of people traveling to come support you? Will it feel like a home game?
I believe so, man. And I'm saying New York, New Jersey, y'all better show out and boo this man all the way to the octagon. If I get booed in Jacksonville, Florida to a Russian, guys, come on. Come on. We got a fake Mexican wannabe that doesn't even represent his roots of Mexico in the States, in my hometown. Come on. They better boo this man. And I'm saying I like Henry, like in the sense of like outside of the competitor, but boo this man. Give this guy the golden boo. Give him the boo. And I hope we get some "Let's Go Aljo" chants. Let's go Aljo.
All right.
That'd be. And we used to do the Ayacuinta.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have a "Let's Go Aljo."
Have you been told you win this fight, you're getting sugar?
I haven't. I mean, I was told that in the beginning, but this is where I don't like broken promises. But I understand business, and I fight for the organization. I don't own the organization, so I understand my place in the sense of I'm the product, but at the end of the day, I don't call the shots. So I know a lot of people think that. They think you become the champ, you get to do whatever you want. It doesn't quite work that way. But I'll let people continue to believe what they want to believe. I was promised O'Malley after the TJ fight. And if I were to look good doing it, I did. That got changed. And I don't know if I'm giving up too much information. I hope not. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. But that didn't happen. So now they put Henry in front of me, and it was a serious one. So this is about a competitor versus competitor. So I accepted the fight, and I told him, well, after, then do I get to beat up the golden chicken? And they said yes. But we'll see if it's another push. Like, say I steamroll Henry in the first round, I take him down, I strangle his ass, have his little feet dangling in the air, and then I get on the mic, call out O'Malley, and then they say no. Then I don't know. Maybe I just go 145. I don't know. we'll see how this fight goes. Take it one fight at a time and one performance at a time. It just really depends on that.
Though you are in the main event here, and this feels like it's being built around you. Are you feeling the love? This feels like a big step in the relationship. Are you feeling the love from the UFC, from the brass, them putting you in this spot?
If I'm being 100% honest, I do for once, maybe not for once, for the second time, feel the love from the UFC brass. It's one thing about the people behind the scenes that people don't get enough credit for, like the people at the PI, the production team, and stuff like that. Those guys work so hard. I'm always as nice to those guys as possible because I know their job is just as difficult in the sense of just putting the show. They're the machine that keeps the machine going. So I'm always super thankful for those guys, and I try to be as nice as I can when I can. So with that being said, it's nice to see that the UFC brass, like the upper echelons, are getting behind. I don't know if it's them telling production, let's try to paint him in a positive light. Let's try to push his background and things like that. I appreciate that, man. It goes a long way to the fighters who actually do care and pay attention to that because we're emotional, man. I'm emotional, and I think I fight with emotion. I think I show that when I come into the cage and I scream, and like there's a lot that goes into this, man. And I get emotional just talking about it because I truly do live this lifestyle, and it's not easy. And when I get an opportunity to see like your bosses getting behind you and giving you that opportunity to elevate yourself, now it's up to me to go out there and capitalize on that. What would you call it? That I don't want to say that milestone, but just the opportunity to go out there and just capitalize. Seize the day, carpe diem. That's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, we control our paths by going out there and putting on a good show and by getting your hand raised. So that's what it's all about. I do love everything leading up to the fight, from the embeddeds, the vlogs we've been doing, the positive interactions from the fans that we've been getting on the YouTube channel. You can see it and you can feel it with the countdown. I'm actually watching the countdown now before we started this, on my way to get ready for my next workout. Well, my first workout of the day. So I know you and Dana got your little thing, but
No, we're good.
definitely want to just say thanks to Dana, to Hunter, Sean, Mick, that whole crew, Tracy, everybody, man, production team, like everyone who had a helping hand in this. Because for me, this is my first main event. I'm never going to forget this opportunity. It's a moment in time. And, I think when you have certain milestones like this, you got to take the time out to smell the roses and just enjoy it for what it is. Like, look at you, you're in your studio. Like, I know you remember back in the days when Al saw your studio when you're, back in the mom's basement. I don't know if you've seen his IG post, which is pretty funny. I think he was saying that he sold you one of your houses. Like
Oh
his
yeah,
top
yeah,
10.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
but
it's like you see where you come
of
from. You know what I
course.
mean? When you look back at it, you're just like, you kind of marvel in that, and you get to appreciate. Like when you're young and you're invincible, and you start doing all these things, you figuring it out, and you become an older guy, and you get a little bit more mature. You
Amen.
figure out what's the more important things in life, like family and things like that.
Amen. Two last quick things. By the way, speaking of Al, selling people houses, New York Rick got a house off of Al Iquinta, our guy back there. And the last time you were kind of on this show, was sort of impromptu on the phone. It was when he was talking crazy, saying that 155 was better than 135. I still maintain 135 is the best weight, not only in MMA, but in all of like boxing, on fire, all that. Can you tell him now? Because maybe people, why is he completely wrong with his take? Because he was very dismissive, I thought, of 135.
I mean, just look at the talent, man, the depth of it. You even see like Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. Like that was on paper, that was a tight fight. And then you go out there and you see the matchup and you see the level of skill and the level of improvement that Song Yadong was able to make coming into this fight compared to the Sandhagen fight, being taken down by Sandhagen, who doesn't wrestle, versus how many times he was taken down by a straight up wrestler, was able to get back up and put on some finishing touches. Guys are fighting each other. We're competing against each other. The best of the best are competing, and we're not just hanging out. You see Rob Font turning it back, a hot surging Adrian
Yeah.
Yanez. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you see a changing of the guard. You see new faces getting opportunities, getting that crack. How can you dispute that with anything else? Now you see Favola at 155. He's getting a shot at Drew Dober, who's ranked in the top 15. So that's what it's all about. I think it's not saying that 155 isn't as good, but I think the top 15 is pretty stale when it comes to 135 and the depth of 135.
100%. You're
And
100%
that's
right.
my personal opinion. So
Do you want to apologize, Rick?
Not at all.
apologize right now.
Apologize
right
to the
now.
chap right now.
Not at all.
Apologize.
Right now.
I love Aljamain knows. I love Aljamain.
Come on.
He's about to get it done on Saturday. That's the official prediction. I love Aljamain. He knows this. I just can't. Like, I love bantamweight. I think it's number 2. But when you've got this, so top 15 outside of the top 15 in terms of depth, you've got Conor McGregor, Gregor Gillespie, Bobby Green, Paddy Pimblett, Terrence McKinney, Jared Gordon, Guram, Brad Riddell,
You just
Thiago
say Paddy
Moises.
Pimblett.
Yeah, I mean,
These guys are not even.
this guy's like, what?
Come.
These guys
I'm
are
gonna-
not
I'm gonna
even
use my-
ranked. These guys are
These are
not
my
even ranked.
best-
Matt
this is-
Frivola, not even ranked. Like the depth at lightweight, it's just a Shark Tank. Now, don't get me wrong. Bantamweight's number 2. Bantamweight's number 2. I agree. And at the top, when we're talking about the top, when you got guys like Aljamain Sterling,
The new blood at 135, Aljo, Marab, O'Malley, Sanhagen,
the top is
Marlon,
very strong. The top
Font,
is very
Song
strong.
Yadong, Adrian Yanez. They don't got killers like that at 55. With all due respect, they just don't have that blood. They don't have that kind of young blood that haven't fought for belts. A lot of those guys have fought for belts. That's my point, right? There's a lot of fresh blood.
And here's where I'll compromise. If we're talking worldwide, all organizations, it's 35 and nobody else is even in the conversation. That I will grant. 35 across all organizations.
Bellator's 35 is better than their 55 as well. I mean, 35 is the best. There's no question about it. One last thing for you, Aljo, and then we'll let you go. What is your official prediction? How do you envision this playing out?
I think there's gonna be a good feel out process in the first round, and not really feel out like slow, but I think it's going to be who makes the first mistake. I can't see Henry coming out being overly aggressive because that'll play right into what I want, into him giving me an opportunity to take him down. A lot easier than he probably thinks it's going to be. I think he might be forgetting what I can do with my leverage if he's really set that I can't wrestle with him. And for the fans that really believe that, it's a sick joke. But whatever. As always, I just like to prove people wrong. So I think in the second round, I come back out, push the pace on him again, and then take him down, TKO. Wow. And I said that last time about TJ, and then I got the TKO. I thought I was going to get the submission. I might actually get a submission, but I'm going for the TKO because I feel like he deserves to be punched just a little bit, and a couple elbows.
I love it. Good luck to you, my man. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate this. And after the win, please join us in studio. That would be great. Long overdue. Get it done. Your home game. You deserve this. You've earned this moment. Can't wait for Saturday. Thank you, Aljo.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to just come out to the Harbor on Saturday night after the fight, that's the official after party. So if you want to come hang out, a couple shots.
I don't know if that's appropriate for journalists and unbiased journalists like myself, but I do appreciate the offer. Thank you.
Oh, wait. One last thing. No disrespect to Paddy Pimblett. I'm just saying he lost the fight to Jared Gordon. So what are we talking about, New York Rick?
Yeah,
come on,
seriously.
Jared Gordon, also an unranked 155er. I mean, it just
hand in your New York. You can't call yourself New York Rick if you're going against Jared Gordon and Aljo in the same breath. I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
I'm just talking about the depth in the UFC, but Aljo is the man.
Thank you, Aljo. Take care. There he is, the great Aljamain Sterling, Funk Master himself.